Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Board of Directors of Kekora Berhad. I am Datuk Nabilah Najwa binti Zakaria, and it is my privilege to preside over today's session. We are gathered here through WebEx in order to discuss an important matters concerning our company. I appreciate your commitment and dedication to our company's growth and success, and I look forward to our discussion today, which I believe will be both productive and inspiring. Before we delve into our agenda, I would like to confirm that we have a quorum present as required under Section 174 of the Companies Act 2016. I will now turn to our Company Secretary, Mr. Lutfil, to confirm the attendance of directors.
Sure, Dato'. In order to verify attendance for this board meeting, please confirm your presence by responding yes when I call your name. I will assume that someone is not coming to this meeting if they do not answer when I call your name. Datuk Namilah Najwa binti Zakaria,
Yes?
Datuk Sri Nur Fatihah binti Rudi Hirman,
Yes.
Datuk Siti Khadijah binti Muhammad,
Yes.
Datuk Nur Ali Atirah binti Kamaruzaman,
Yes.
Datuk Dr. Muhammad Nakib bin Muhammad Mahyudin.
Yes.
Alright, thank you everyone. I hereby confirm that there is quorum present. Pursuant to clause 65 of the company's constitution, the meeting can be called to order.
Thank you, Mr. Lutfil. I hereby declare the meeting duly convened. As we move forward, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that this meeting has been convened in compliance with the provisions outlined in the Companies Act 2016, particularly under Section 310. This section mandates that meeting must be called with proper notice. Since the notice convening the meeting has been circulated within the prescribed period, I would like to propose that the notice convening the meeting be taken as read. If there are any concerns regarding the notice or agenda, please feel free to raise them now. Thank you for your feedback. Since there are no amendments required, I propose that we approve the minutes from our last meeting as they stand. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statement for the year ended 30 September 2024, together with the report of directors and auditors thereon. The financial statement have been made available to all of you earlier. May I have Datuk Farah, our Managing Director, to briefly explain about the audited financial statement?
Yes, sure. I went through the audited financial statement and our auditors has issued an unqualified opinion for the company, meaning that they are of the opinion that our financial statement are free from matrimonial statement and are presented fairly in accordance with the MFRS. Next, I will brief you on the financial performance of our company. As you can see, our company achieved a better performance in the financial year 2024 compared to the previous year. The increment, though is not as big as we expected in our budget, still indicate that our company improving by the year. Considering that the company condition that is still fluctuating and unstable, I can say that our company is not doing so bad financially. That is all from me. I will be glad to answer any questions about the audit.
Thank you, Datuk Farha, for the explanation. Does anyone have questions or inquiries about the audited financial statement?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as this agenda item is not meant for discussion, is meant for discussion only and does not require the formal approval of shareholder, it will be put forward for voting. The audited financial statement for financial year ended 30 September 2024, and the report for directors and auditor is now considered received by the meeting. The audited financial statement, directors and auditors report will be signed by two officers. The first one is me, Datuk Nabila, and Datuk Farha under the witness of the Commissioner of Oath. Before we proceed with the next agenda, I would like to highlight that one of the items on today's agenda pertains to my re-election as a director as required under Section 205, Subsection 3B and Section 205, Subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2016. In accordance with best practices and to avoid any conflict of interest, I will step aside as chairman for this agenda item. Therefore, I propose Datuk Dr. Nakib be appointed as the temporary chairman to conduct this portion of the meeting. Can I have a seconder for this proposal?
I second the proposal to appoint Datuk Dr. Nakib as temporary chairman.
Thank you, Datuk Dr. Nakib. You are now the temporary chairman for this agenda item.
Thank you, Datuk Nabila. As temporary chairman, I will now proceed with the agenda item concerning the re-election of Datuk Nabila Najwa binti Zakaria as a director. For your information, Datuk Nabila is retiring by rotation under Section 205, Subsection 3, Subsection B of the Companies Act 2016. However, she has indicated her willingness to offer herself for re-election as permitted under Section 205, Subsection 4. Are there any question or discussion regarding this matter?
Datuk Nabila, could you elaborate on why retaining your directorship is beneficial for the company at this time?
Thank you for that question, Datuk Farha. Over the past 7 years, I have worked closely with the board and management team to guide the company's strategy, ensure governance compliance, and support sustainability growth. My experience in the business world helped Kekora Berhad navigate challenges and capitalize on opportunities. If re-elected, I remain committed to serving the interests of Kekora Berhad and its shareholders.
Are there any potential conflicts of interest or concerns regarding Datuk Nabila's continued service as a director?
To my knowledge, Datuk Nabila has demonstrated professionalism and integrity throughout her tenure. There are no conflict of interest to report.
I agree that the Nabila leadership and contribution have been invaluable. I fully support her re-election.
Thank you, directors. If there are no further question or concern, may I propose the following resolution that Datuk Nabila Najwa binti Zakaria who retires by rotation in accordance with Section 205, Subsection 3, Subsection B and 205, Subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2016 and being eligible be hereby re-elected as a director of the company. May I have a proposal for this resolution?
I propose the resolutions.
Thank you, Dato' Alia. May I have a seconder?
I second the resolution.
Thank you, Dato' Khadijah. Therefore, please raise your hand if you agree to re-elect Dato' Nabila as a director. The resolution is carried out unanimously. Congratulations, Dato' Nabila, on your re-election. Thank you, everyone. Dato' Nabila, I hand the chairmanship back to you.
Thank you, Datuk Dr. Nakib, and thank you everyone for your confidence and support. Let us proceed with the next item on the agenda, which is the re-election of Datuk Haris Fitri bin Ahmad, who retires by rotation according to Section 205, Subsection 3B of the Companies Act 2016. Datuk Haris has offered himself for re-election as permitted under Section 205, Subsection 4. Datuk Haris has informed us that he is unable to attend today's meeting. However, Datuk Dr. Nakib, who has been appointed as his alternate director, is present and will represent him for this meeting. Additionally, we have received special notice from two shareholders proposing the removal of Datuk Haris from the board and the appointment of Datuk Sri Hakimi bin Hassan as a director. The notice does not specify reasons for the proposed removal or appointment. Before we proceed, I would like to outline the process. The first resolution is to vote on whether or not Datuk Haris should be removed as a director. Should this resolution pass, we will then move to the second resolution, which is the proposal for the re-election of Datuk Haris as a director. Please note that the outcome of the first resolution directly impacts the second resolution. First, Datuk as the alternate director for Datuk Haris, would you like to deliver remarks on his behalf before we proceed?
Yes, thank you, Datuk Nabila. On behalf of Datuk Haris, I would like to express his gratitude for the opportunity to serve this board and the company. He acknowledged the responsibility that comes with his position and remained committed to driving the company's growth. Regarding the special notice, Dato' Haris acknowledged the shareholders' right to propose such action. However, without specific reason stated in the notice, it is difficult to address the concern directly. He trusts that his track record and contribution will be considered during this deliberation. As his alternate director, I am here to answer any question or provide additional context on his behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Datuk Dr. Nakib. Directors, the floor is now open for discussion. Please feel free to share your thought or ask questions.
I have a question. Without specific reason in the special notice, do we have any indication of what might have motivated the shareholders to propose Dato' Haris' removal?
Allow me to answer that question. Without specific reason mentioned in the special notice, it is difficult to ascertain the exact motivations of the shareholder for proposed Dato' Haris removal. However, generally such proposal must stem from concern regarding the director performance, governance, or align with the company's strategic direction. It could also be related to the difference in opinion or visions of the company, or perhaps even external factors such as regulatory compliance or shareholder interest. The lack of the explicit reasons may indicate the desire for a change in the leadership, or it could reflect the broader concern among the shareholder that could not yet be fully disclosed.
Thank you, Dato' Alia, for the explanation.
Nakib, as Dato' Haris' alternate director, could you outline the most significant achievement of Dato' Haris during his tenure that demonstrate his value to the board?
Certainly, during Dato' Haris' tenure, he played a vital role in the company's expansion into new market, particularly overseeing the successful entry into the Southeast Asian market in 2022. This initiative resulted in a 20% increase in revenue over the following year. Dato' Haris also led the company's strategic partnership with some international companies, which have secured a long-term supply agreement that boosted our competitive edge in the industry. Furthermore, Dato' Haris was instrumental in improving our ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance performance. Under his leadership, the company achieved a significant upgrade in our ESG rating, moving from a B to an A rating in 2023. This improvement was largely due to his focus on the integrating sustainable practices across operation, enhancing our community engagement effort, and ensuring stronger governance frameworks were in place. This effort not only aligned with global best practices but also enhanced our reputation among investors who prioritize sustainability. This achievement reflects his commitment to driving the company's long-term success.
Nakib, would you address any potential shareholder concerns about governance or strategy if he is re-elected?
Should Dato' Haris be re-elected, we are committed to maintaining strong governance and addressing any shareholder concerns transparently. We will continue to ensure that all decisions are made in the best interest of the company. Dato' Haris has proven his ability to adapt strategies to market changes, focusing on sustainable growth and shareholder value. We are also dedicated to open communication with shareholders, ensuring they are well informed and confident in the company's direction.
Thank you for your input. If there are no further discussion, I will now call for a vote on the first resolution, the proposal to remove Datuk Haris as a director. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposition, please raise your hand. The result of the vote is 1 in favor and 3 opposed. Having successfully passed the first resolution, we will now move on the second resolution, which is the re-election of Datuk Haris as a director. I will open the floor for any discussion or comment regarding this resolution.
Okay, how do we ensure that his leadership continues to align with our evolving corporate goals and address any emerging challenges in the market?
To ensure that Haris' leadership continue to align with our evolving goal, we must maintain a regular review of both his strategic performance and the company strategic directions. This can include quarterly check-in our key performance indicators and market trends, as well as an open dialogue with shareholders to ensure alignment. Dato' Haris' ability to adapt to changes in the market and to implement new strategy will be crucial in driving the company's success moving forward.
Thank you for your valuable insight. Are there any other questions?
No.
Since there is no question, we will proceed to vote for this resolution. Kindly raise your hand if you agree the re-election of Datuk Haris as a director. The resolution to re-elect Datuk Haris Fitri bin Ahmad has been approved unanimously. Congratulations to Datuk Haris on his re-election. Datuk Dr. Nakib, as his alternate director, we trust you will continue to work closely with the board to address any shareholder concerns. Now, let us proceed to the fourth agenda, which is the reappointment of KPMG PLT and fixing their remuneration. As you know, KPMG PLT has been our external auditors for several years and has consistently provided high-quality audit services. I now open the floor for any questions or comments.
Chairman, could you elaborate on why we are recommending KPMG again? Have we explored other options like PwC or EY?
Thank you for the question. We conduct a thorough review of KPMG's performance over the past years, including their audit quality, responsiveness, and understanding of our business. They have consistently delivered excellent service and demonstrate their capability in handling the complexities of our operation. As part of due diligence, we periodically benchmark their fees and services against other firms. Based on this review, we believe that KPMG offers a combination of quality and value that align with our needs. Additionally, continuity with the same audit firms ensure a deeper understanding of our financial and operational framework, which is critical during this period of growth.
Since KPMG have served our company as an external auditor for many years, I worry if there is a risk that they might compromise their independence or lead to complacency.
That is a valid point, but to auditor, independence is a critical factor and we continuously monitor it to ensure compliance with regulatory standards. KPMG rotate their audit partner periodically as required by law, which help mitigate any risk of over familiarity or complacency. Additionally, our audit committee conduct regular assessment of their performance and independence. If there were any signs of diminished objectivity or effectiveness, we will address them promptly, including considering alternative auditors if necessary.
I understand. Thank you, Dato' Farah, for the clarification.
I have a question on the matter of remunerations. How do we ensure that the fee are reasonable and justified?
Regarding that, the purpose remuneration for KPMG has been reviewed in line with market rates for audit services provided to companies of our size and complexity. We have negotiated the fees to ensure they are competitive while reflecting the scope and quality of their work. Furthermore, the authorization to allow the directors to fix the remuneration provides flexibility to manage any adjustments that might be necessary, subject to the board's oversight.
Thank you, Datuk Farha and Datuk Dija, for the explanation. If there are no further questions, I would like to propose the following resolution that KPMG PLT be reappointed as auditors of the company for the financial year ending 30 September 2025 and the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration. May I have a proposal for this resolution?
I propose the resolution.
And I second the resolution.
Thank you, Dato' Alia and Dato' Nakib. Now please vote if you agree with the resolution by raising hand. The resolution is carried out unanimously. Thank you, everyone. This concludes on the discussion on this agenda item. We will now move to the next item on the agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the next agenda. This resolution seeks shareholder approval to authorize the directors of the company to undertake necessary action to support the company's strategy objective, including operational expansion and investment opportunities. This resolution, as you know, is vital for enabling the board to respond promptly to opportunities in line with our growth strategy. Are there any comments or clarification required before we proceed?
Datuk Nabila, could you elaborate on how this resolution align with the company's current expansion plans?
Certainly, Datuk Farha. The approval of this resolution will allow us to secure additional funding for expanding our operational capacities, particularly in the high growth sectors we are targeting, in ensure we remain agile in sizing market opportunities without the delay of convening multiple shareholders meeting.
Dato' Nabila, could you provide further details on how the new shares will be utilized and the safeguards in place?
For that question, Mr. Lutfil, could you explain the details?
Certainly, Dato'. According to the Act, the new share issue under this resolution will support various strategic objectives, including investment in high growth areas and enhancing our working capital. As for safeguard, any issuance will be kept at 10% of the total issue shares and will be adhered strictly to the Bursa Malaysia guidelines, ensuring full transparency and compliance.
Thank you for clarifying, Mr. Lutfil. This flexibility seems critical for our growth trajectory. I am ready to propose the resolution.
Thank you, Dato' Nakib. We have a proposal. Now, can we have a seconder for this resolution?
I second the resolution.
Thank you, Dato' Alia. The resolution has been proposed and seconded. Shareholders may now cast their vote. The vote for this resolution is now complete. Everyone agrees that the outcome is acceptable. The next agenda item is to approve the loan request by Datuk Siti Khadijah binti Muhammad for 19,400 to fund an official trip to Beijing. I now call upon Datuk Khadijah to explain the purpose of this request and why it is important for the company. Datuk Khadijah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Nabila. As you may know, this business trip to Beijing is critical for expanding our presence in the international market. During the trip, I will attend meetings with potential clients, network at industry conference, and explore new market opportunities that will support our growth strategy. To facilitate the trip, I am requesting an advance loan of 19,400. This will cover essential expenses including airfare, accommodation, ground transportation, meals, conference registration fees, and miscellaneous costs. The breakdown is as follows: airfare 3,000, accommodation 6,000, ground transportation 2,000, meals and incidentals 2,400, registration fees 5,000, miscellaneous expenses 1,000, and total requested amount is 90,400. This trip is crucial for strengthening our market position, and I believe the loan is a necessary investment to achieve these objectives.
Thank you, Datuk Khadijah, for the clear breakdown of your request. I now turn to Mr. Lutfil, our company secretary, to ensure that all required documentation and policies in order for the loan request.
Thank you, Dr. Nabila. As per the company's governance policy, any loan request made by a director is subject to approval by the board. Dr. Khadijah request has been submitted in writing along with the detailed breakdown of expenses. I have reviewed the request and it aligns with the company objective or internal growth. I also confirm that no conflicts of interest exist in this case, and the request adhered to the company's internal guidelines. If the board is satisfied, I will ensure that the loan is documented properly and that repayment terms are established upon approval.
Thank you, Mr. Lutfil, for your confirmation. It seems all procedures are in order. Before proceeding, are there any questions or concerns regarding this resolution?
According to the Section 222 of the Company Act 2016, which restrict the loan to directors, we should consider whether the loan to Datuk Siti Khadijah is in line with the provision outlined. Can anyone confirm if the term of the loan comply with these legal requirements?
Alright, under Section 222 loans, loans to director can only be made if they approved by the directors. It's in a general meeting, and the terms are fair and reasonable, as long as the loan is specifically for an official purpose, and the repayment terms are clearly outlined. We should be within our legal rights to approve this loan. We will need to ensure that all necessary documentation, including the purpose of the loan, is in order.
Thank you, Mr. Lutfil, for that clarification. As per Section 222, it is clear that directors' approval is required for this loan. We must also ensure that the loan does not exceed the financial limit set out in the company's constitution or require any additional approval.
Datuk Nabila, could you clarify how this trip align with the company's strategy goals and how the loan will be repaid?
Thank you for the question, Datuk Alia. The trip is to attend a key industry conference in Beijing, which offers opportunities for securing partnership and expanding our market presence. As for repayment, Datuk Siti Khadijah has agreed to structured repayment plan over 6 months with no financial burden to the company.
That sounds reasonable, Dr. Nabila. I believe this initiative could yield positive outcome for the company. I am ready to propose the resolution.
Thank you, Datuk Nakib. We have a proposal. Can we have a seconder for this resolution?
I second the resolution.
Thank you, Datuk Farha. The resolution has been proposed and seconded. Directors may now cast their vote. We have now finished resolutions vote. The outcome has been unanimously accepted. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda item concerns compliance with the beneficial of ownership requirements. Let us start with a briefing from our company secretary, Mr. Lutfi.
Thank you, Datuk. The beneficial ownership requirements mandate us to identify and disclose individuals who ultimately own or control the company, whether they directly or indirectly.
Thank you, Mr. Lutfi. Before we proceed further, can you provide a summary of our company's current position regarding compliance with this requirement?
Certainly, as of now, we have identified the beneficial owners for the most of our shares. However, there are still some gaps in documentation, particularly regarding shareholders who hold shares indirectly through intermediaries. We need to address this to ensure full compliance.
Mr. Lutfi, what steps are being taken to this gap? Are there any specific challenges we should be aware of?
Good question, Dr. Nakib. We are in the process of engaging with intermediaries to obtain the necessary information. The main challenge is delays in receiving accurate and complete disclosure. Some shareholders are unfamiliar with the requirements and need additional guidance.
Dato, what steps have we taken to ensure full compliance with these requirements?
Dato' Khadijah, we have already initiated a thorough review of our shareholding structure and engaged our legal advisor to ensure that all disclosures meet the necessary standards. Shareholders will be informed if any additional documentation is required.
Dato' Nabila, what are the consequences of non-compliance with this regulation?
Dato' Alia, failure to comply may result in penalties and reputational risk for the company. It is imperative that we remain proactive to avoid such outcomes. Our compliance not only safeguards the company but also builds trust with our stakeholders.
In that case, do we have a clear timeline for achieving full compliance, and who will oversee the process?
Alright, our target is to achieve full compliance within the next 3 months. I will personally oversee the process, working closely with our legal and compliance teams.
Are there any additional resources or support needed to meet this target? If so, the board can consider allocating the necessary funds.
Dato' Nabila, at this stage, we might need additional legal support to expedite the process. I will prepare a proposal for the board's consideration.
That sounds reasonable. Are there any ideas or strategies for improving our compliance effort?
I propose the implementing a digital tracking system to streamline the collection and monitoring of beneficial ownership information.
I like that idea. In addition, I think we should also engage external consultant to review our compliance processes and provide recommendation.
Excellent suggestions. Any other idea?
Yes, I believe we should establish a dedicated compliance task force to ensure accountability and focus on this issue.
Thank you, everyone. These are all valuable suggestions. Mr. Lutfi, please incorporate these into our compliance action plan. Is there any question?
Dato' Nabila, how will this disclosure be handled to ensure confidentiality for stakeholder?
Datuk Nakib, all disclosed information will be handled with strict confidentiality and in accordance with data protection regulation. Only authorized personnel will have access to these records, ensuring privacy and compliance with legal standards. If there are no further questions, thank you for your input and engagement. This concludes the discussion on beneficial ownership requirements. Now, let's proceed with the next agenda. As part of our agenda, we will discuss and resolve the holding of the annual general meeting, AGM, and authorize the company secretary to issue the required notice. I would like to suggest conducting our next AGM on 20th January 2025. Is everyone available on that date? Mr. Lutfield, could you please help me to determine whether we have any important company event on that day?
Sure, Dato'. Fortunately, Dato', we do not have any significant company event during that day.
Great. How about the others? Will you all be available on 20th January 2025?
Chairman, I would like to raise a concern. The proposed date for the AGM coincides with another commitment I have that cannot be rescheduled. I understand the importance of my attendance at both the AGM and the board meeting, and I want to ensure we find a solution that accommodates everyone.
Thank you, Datuk Khadijah, for bringing this up. It is important that all directors are able to participate. Does anyone have suggestion to address this conflict?
I propose that we consider holding the AGM virtually. This approach has become increasingly common and will allow everyone to attend regardless of their physical location. It can also align with our commitment to leveraging technology for efficiency.
That's an excellent suggestion. Holding a virtual AGM could resolve the scheduling conflict and ensure broader participation. Are there any objections to this proposal? If there are no objections, may I have someone formally propose the resolution?
I, Ms. Alia, propose the resolution to schedule the annual general meeting for 20 January 2025 to be held virtually and to authorize the company secretary to issue the notice as required by law.
Thank you. May I have a seconder for the resolution?
I, Ms. Khadijah, second the resolution.
Thank you, Datuk Khadijah. Let us now move to a vote. Thank you. The resolution is carried out by the majority. The AGM will be held virtually on 20th January 2025, and the Secretary is authorized to issue the necessary notice to the shareholder. Mr. Lutfield, please ensure compliance with all regulatory requirements related to the notice issuance and the preparation for the AGM.
Certainly, Chairman.
If there are no further matters to discuss on this topic, let us proceed with the next agenda item. Thank you, everyone. Lastly, a resolution is tabled to approve the issuance of the revised AGM notice as per Section 316 to 318 of the Companies Act 2016, which govern the content and procedures for issuing notice of meeting. Mr. Lutfield, can you please read the draft of the notice of AGM?
Yes, sure, Dato'. So, I will read the agenda of notice of several AGM related to the resolution and need approval from the members, which are number 1, to receive the audited financial statement for the financial year end on 30 September 2024, together with the reports and of directors and auditors. Number 2, to re-elect Datuk Nabilah Najwa binti Zakaria, who retires by rotation according to Section 205, Subsection 3, Subsection B, and 205, Subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2016, and being eligible has offered herself for re-election. Number 3, to re-elect Datuk Haris Fitri bin Ahmad, who retires by rotation according to Section 205, Subsection 3, Subsection B, and 205, Subsection 4 of the Companies Act 2016, and being eligible has offered himself for re-election. Number 4, to reappoint KPMG PLT as auditors of the company and authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. Number 5, to obtain authority to issue shares pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of Companies Act 2016. And lastly, number 6, to approve the loan requested by Datuk Siti Khadijah binti Muhammad for 19,400 to fund an official trip to Beijing. For your information, the AGM notice will be circulated at least 21 days from the AGM.
Alright, thank you Mr. Lupil for the help to read the agenda for the upcoming AGM. So are there any objections on this agenda for the 7th AGM?
No.
No.
We have now reached the conclusion of our meeting. I am glad we were able to cover all the items on the agenda in the given time. Mr. Lutfil, can you recap what we have discussed and decided in today's meeting?
Yes, Datuk Nabilah. In today's meeting, we have covered the following agendas. For the first agenda, the board successfully reviewed and approved the audited financial statement for the financial year ended at 30 September 2024. This resolution has been passed and will be presented at the AGM. For the second agenda, the board approved the re-election of Datuk Nabilah Najwa binti Zakaria as a director. The same goes for the third agenda. The board approved the re-election of Datuk Haris bin Ahmad as a director. In the fourth agenda, the board resolved to reappoint KPMG PLT as auditors of the company and authorized the directors to fix their remuneration. This resolution was carried out unanimously. For the fifth agenda, the resolution authorizing directors to issue shares under Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016 was approved by majority vote of the board. In the sixth agenda, the board approved the loan of 90,400 from Datuk Siti Khadijah binti Muhammad for an official trip to Beijing with structured repayment terms. Next agenda, the board review and agree on compliance measure for beneficial ownership disclosure, ensuring transparency and adherence to regulatory requirements. For next agenda, the resolution is carried out by the majority of the board and the AGM will be held virtually on 20 January 2025 and I will be authorized to issue the necessary notice to the shareholder. Lastly, for the last agenda discussion, agenda's content for next upcoming AGM. An AGM notice will be circulated at least 21 days from this AGM.
Thank you, Mr. Lutfil, for the summary. I would like to express my appreciation to all directors and shareholders for their active participation, valuable insight, and thoughtful discussion. Since there are no further matters to be addressed, we have now come to the end of today's annual general meeting. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, and I wish you all the wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.